This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. And it reads, lest Shaitan should get an advantage of us, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, barak, which is our praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahawah. In the name of his only begotten and anointed Son, Yahawashi, and the Holy Spirit, who is our strength and our Redeemer and our light and our salvation. With that, my Shana, Kabawadim Lahasequanium, Shal Gadabarikab, which is double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and true shepherds of Israel, pushing the sound doctrine of faith, truth, and sincerity. And shalawam, honors and salutations to Bayas Shadawadah, which is the 144,000 elected governing body of the house of David, along with the rest of the 1/3 elect men, women, and children of Israel. All right, and this is fellow servant Malak Rayab. She's back at it again with another Charagma update, or then another lesson. All right, which is Adam Ratazah, Lord willing, edifying and exhorting to the lambs and sheep. All right, of the elect house of David, along with the rest of the 1/3 elect men, women, and children of the elect house of David. All right, and it's dealing with a couple of topics. You know, mainly dealing with recent reports of artificial intelligence. Being further reported. Within these further pushing out the artificial intelligence slash transhumanism aspect of these devil's satanic NWO agenda. All right, case in point, most recently revolving around the controversy of this virtual artificial intelligence so-called rapper that these devils created through Capitol Records. All right, and when you look at this character, it just looks like a complete demon, man. All right, you see, it's throwing up the little Masonic hand gesture, which is forming the all-seeing eye of Horus. For to push out the vibration, of the number of the beast. All right. Because these devils deal with numerology on the left-hand side, all right? Because that symbolism is a further pagan avenue of worship of the spiritual demon Shaitan, all right? So you see that little symbol on his necklace is a similar symbol that Kobe was wearing before he passed, all right? When you look, so this character is basically composed of, three main rappers that a lot of the youth, references, so to say, and that's Tekashi 6ix9ine, all right, whose rap career is pretty much in the toilet, by way of the judgment of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, that much more further by him coming across the church down there in Hawaii, including the elder brother Gabar Yahawada and the brother Kahana Law down there in Hawaii, all right. So I further goes into why. That nigga, Tekashi 6ix9ine's career is in the toilet, but nonetheless, the image of him, this other nigga rapper, all right, Lil Pump, and Triple X Tentacion, or XXX Tentacion, is basically what this character was modeled after, all right. To further push out, once again, further push out this satanic vibration, man, specifically through the number of the beast, all right. The vibration of the spiritual demon Shaitan, all right, through symbolism and occultism and whatnot, man. So I'm going to further expound on that in a second, all right. And shalawam to ahtham tuning in, Adam Ratazah, this is further edifying and exhorting. But continue with this information here in this first article, where it says here, after a short stint on Capitol Records roster, AI rapper FN Meka has been removed from his lineup effective immediately following backlash online after an insensitive Instagram post from 2019 mocking police brutality resurfaced online. The post was eventually deleted by the Meka account. The account was also put on private, because there's been a lot of backlash over this virtual artificial intelligence rapper, because it's not really like a AI robot rapper like they're reporting in the media, because this character is not real. It's not a physical creation. It's a virtual creation, in which goes into the creepy factor of this whole technological avenue of witchcraft, because technology is further mirrors witchcraft, all right. Based off of the fact that these virtual images, or otherwise known as CGI, virtual images, in which CGI is basically for an acronym for computer generated imagery, all right, through their through the virtual world and whatnot. They further put these virtual images in real places, man. And speaking of virtual, what I'm saying, I'm gonna get into this commercial by Kevin Hart. Right, this recent DraftKings commercial by Kevin Hart, where he's further pushing out the vibration of digital IDs, the CBDCs, man. All right, within this commercial, I'm about to go ahead and pull up in a second. In fair use, by the way. All right. By the way, the Copyright Fairs Act, fair use. All right. So anyway, so so in that commercial, he's holding up digital IDs. And in the beginning of the commercial, Kevin Hart tells the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, the other NFL players Ezekiel Elliott and Stephon Diggs, I've summoned you to the Kevinverse. Now what is Kevinverse? A further spinoff of the metaverse, man. You see, so these devils are further pushing out the agenda, the technological aspect of their agenda, all right, to further promote art, the AI, and transhumanism, part of this fourth industrial revolution, all right, to merge humans with AI, all right, to further justify monitoring everyone's movements, man, all right, and ultimately to monitor people through that charagma. And that's why the World Economic Forum, it came out, and promoted the idea of, inserting the C-hip, all right, the charagma inside of children, man. So this is all a part of this is all a part of the integration of the charagma, another, within this charagma update, what I'm saying, in which, we're getting closer and closer to, the hour of our temptation, man. Because now, these devils are looking to further normalize this agenda by downplaying it, with humor, what I'm saying, and trends and so forth. All right, look at, including normalizing this madness here you see on the screen, man. It's just clearly a demon, man. All right, emulates a demon. Green hair, green eyes, what I'm saying, wicked ass tattoos on it, Masonic hand gestures. But I digress. It says the post was this 2019 mocking post of police brutality was eventually deleted by the Meka account. All right, but it continued to draw negative attention and criticism, leading Capitol Records to drop them from the label. All right. So it says, what led up to an AI robot getting a record deal? Well, those will look at FN Meka's career and who was behind the controversial account. All right. And they've had all kinds of similar accounts of madness, further pushing out, what I'm saying, these virtual computer generated imageries, what I'm saying, like a few years ago. They had Pokemon Go back in 2016. Now, I remember that because that's around the time, what I'm saying, I had initially started pushing the truth. And I remember Pokemon Go was a part of the major trends that were causing a lot of death. It further lines up with Proverbs 19 and 20. All right? So, matter of fact, I get that precept. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20. It says, "Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end." All right, and we are in the latter end. These perilous times we're living in. Pursuing 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, where it's prophesied how men would be boasters of their own selves, and by way of what further approach was this to transpire through the devices of the spiritual demon Shaitan and his bidders. All right, including the Edomites. All right, that we're not ignorant of, man, or especially through artificial intelligence. All right, in these CGI virtual images, man. All right, of confusion and deception. All right, because they're mainly using this technological aspect of AI, what I'm saying, to further prey on the minds of undeveloped, adolescents and children. Like it says in Proverbs, the 22nd chapter, train up a child in the way he shall go. Within what path? The ancient paths, man, spoken about in Jeremiah the 6th chapter. Sirach 39 and 1 and so forth. So anyway, it says Proverbs 19 and 21. Here's the point. There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless, to counsel the Lord YAHAWAH that shall stand. All right, and these devices are causing mass death. All right, including Pokemon Go. You guys, a shit called Momo a couple of years ago. It was some virtual demon that emulated the image of a woman that was scaring children. You know what I'm saying? Inciting fear in the children. And that trend died out. Now you got this shit, FM Meka. All right. So and then now, you know, it's not a coincidence that they so-called cancel this character as a part of this modern day cancel culture, because those are part of the Hegelian dialectic, man. They knew how they were to use this virtual character, all right, of the vibration of AI, you know, associated with racial stereotypes, whatnot, was going to further draw or trigger emotions out of the so-called black community, all right. Because that's what they want. That's what they wanted the whole time, all right. Because it's really just a further test run, all right. You know, because it's just a virtual AI character. They have actual AI machinery, you know what I'm saying, that they already had developed, and they're further developing. Like, that's why Elon Musk back in like 2018 had mentioned this. All right, let me go and grab this real quick. Slakia. I'll get back to the main article in a second. All right, but Elon Musk has said this. He warned that creation of a so-called godlike AI could doom mankind to an eternity of robot dictatorship, and that's why back in the beginning of TikTok around 2019, all right, when TikTok really started becoming like a widespread, global, popular platform, is oddly enough around the same time where these devils released this character FM Meka, and then in one of the videos, the FM Meka AI virtual character is unmasking itself, and when it unmasks itself, it looked like the Terminator from the Terminator movies, man. Because this is what they're further programming the people, all right, to accept, all right, through gradualism, all right, and that's their own demise, right? That covenant with death, like it says in Isaiah the 28th chapter, man. So once again, in 2 Corinthians 2:11, all right, it says, let me read that again, all right, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, all right, it reads, "Lest Shaitan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And who, was the spiritual demon Shaitan not to get an advantage of the elect, all right, who belongs to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, all right, by way of the faith in the Heavenly Father Yahweh, by, granting us an intercession for our sins, all right, his sacrificial lamb, all right, through his precious bloodshed was our sins are forgiven, man, all right, by way of our perpetual rebellion against the first holy covenant. So through Yahawah's death, all right, came the permanence of the second holy covenant, man, all right, that true rest that we would enter, that true eternal rest under the second holy covenant, man, a part of New Jerusalem, in Revelation 21:2, that's going to descend into this realm, all right, through the fathership of all chariots. You see, that's going to translate the elect up into that chariot, man, and deliver us from evil, all right, including from this devil and his wicked devices, okay, his artificial intelligence cyborgs and various forms of machinery and thermonuclear missile warheads and so forth, man, because that's why the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, is speeding up the days in these within these last days in St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, prophesied, because else this devil, this mad scientist, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, who was a man of sin and son of perdition, the devil the Bible speaks of, would destroy everyone and everything, man, including himself, man, so, hey, man, so this is further insight that we're at the end of this thing, case in point, all right, so let's share time should get an advantage of us if we were not ignorant of his devices, all right, but those who are ignorant of his devices, those who are asleep, pursuing 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, and other precepts, all right, especially those who love sleep. They love that darkness, that gross darkness under this, wine of fornication, all right, Western philosophy of America, all right, so getting back here, all right, we go back to the main article, because this is part of their agenda, including the Georgia Guidestones aspect, to limit the population, of this world from about 8 billion people down to 500 million. And they're just not going to just do that solely by putting people to death through the law enforcement, because that would make it too obvious, through eugenics, through biological warfare, all this pestilence, global pestilence taking place, claiming lives and whatnot. There's another way in which you're doing it, all right? There's another way in which you're planning on doing it, man. That's why a lot of these people that purchase these sex robots and whatnot, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, man. you know, because they've trusted in oppression within the devices of this devil's wine. All right. And the machines and people have within their presence. All right. In these last days, going to turn on them, man. All right. One way or another. All right. Or at least it wouldn't be, far fetched for that to take place. All right. Because these machines, all right, are a part of their agenda. All right. And the ideology of these AI creation, or creations in this case, including this demon creation here on the screen here. All right. So jump it down. All right, go into a little backlash there. All right, see a little image of the police brutality mockery. All right. All right. Then in the little post, the character is supposedly talking, but it's clearly a voice behind it, man. All right. So that's pretty much that on this. There's a similar article that came out dealing with this other AI creation. It's the so-called social media influencer by the name of Lil Miquela, which is basically like a Moabite-based character. All right. That was created by Trevor McFedries and Sarah DeCal, if I'm saying that, pronouncing her name correctly. All right. And this character was unveiled in 2016, but I'm barely finding out about this. So these devils have been preparing this agenda for a long time, especially through the aspect of AI technology, and the CBDC, and the CBDCs, what I'm saying, which is why they had the whole auto tune wave, like in the mid 2000s with T-Pain and Kanye, all these reprobates, all right, and somebody brought it out through the spirit. This effing Meka character was not, the first virtual AI creation, because you had a band, it was like a rap/rock band by the name of the Gorillas back in the mid 2000s that came out. Also, actually, yeah, in the mid 2000s, all right, around like 2004. This rap/rock band by the name of Gorillas, which was a virtual AI created based rap/rock group that came out. So these devils have been afraid to push this agenda out for years now, but now it's becoming more recognized. Why? Because YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has removed the veil from people's eyes, mainly the elect. All right, uncovering the thigh of the great whore of America, the mystery Babylon, spoken about in Isaiah 47 chapter. All right, the mystery land of confusion. All right, because this is a part of it, and it's this, these reports, these AI reports, and how they're utilizing, the idea of these AI reports is further exposing the strangeness and perverseness of this place. All right. Backwards energy of Shaitan. All right. Confusion, decadence, perverseness. Okay. Rebelling against the Lord ultimately. All right. Through sodomy. All right. Feminism and so forth. So this is a death culture here. This ain't no lifestyle we're living, man. All right. So we got this character here, Lil Miquela. All right. So let's go ahead and get into some information on this demon here. All right. Click on this first article. Lee Miquela and the virtual influencer. There's no way that hot cartoons are actually the future of fashion advertising, unless there's already too much money involved to stop them. You see, so they're clearly funding. They're funding these various projects and so forth, and these different tech moguls to push out this agenda. You know what I'm saying, including on behalf of Tesla, Synchron, Boston Dynamics, which which law enforcement, have been benefiting off of the funding of Boston Dynamics technology lent to the law enforcement. All right, which is why down in New York, when they went to go arrest someone with a warrant, they took the robot dog with them, man, with some sort of weapon mounted on top of it, because that's what they're doing. For the mounting assault weapons on top of these so-called robot dogs. Okay. So these major tech moguls slash companies such as Boston Dynamics, Tesla, all right, Synchron, which the last two I mentioned have been recently reported for the first human test subjects of the Charagma, man, the C-hip. You see, this is a part of the Satanic Council that's not going to stand because the ideology behind this NWO agenda is anti-righteousness. That's why in 1 John 2:18 it says, "It'll be a very last time we'll be in the midst of these anti-messiahs, man. All right, anti-messiahs. All right. So, so I'm not even gonna even bring out the rest of this. I believe there's something I want to bring out here. There's another virtual character they created down there in the UK. All right, which is emulated off a so-called black woman mentioned in here somewhere. All right, let me see if I can pull it up. It might be. See, look how they're trying to normalize it, man. Like these virtual AI creations actually having a good time, through so-called human experiences. So pretty soon it's going to be difficult for people to decipher what's real and fake, But if at all possible, they could deceive the very elect. We're seeing St. Matthew 24:24, and they know they can't. All right, so their job is to take as many to claim as many souls as they possibly can. All right, by conditioning the minds of the people to accept the Charagma, all right, through the various guises on which they were used to unveil this agenda. All right, this next major prophecy, the Charagma, in which no one will be able to buy or sell without this device. All right. So this is the part I wanted to get in this article. All right, it says less vague. Bauman creative director Olivier Roustang's Bauman Army of Virtual Models. The first Shudu was designed by British photographer Cameron James Wilson in early 2018. She racked up followers after the managers at Instagram for Rihanna's Fenty beauty line apparently mistook her for a real customer and briefly reposted a photo of her trying out the brand's Monty lipstick. When you Google, this demon here, all right, it emulates the so-called, it emulates Eve, really, all right, very melanated Eve. You see, because they're associating melanated faces with their witchcraft, man. All right, because they're utilizing our elegance, all right, and our salt, like it speaks about in St. Matthew, the 5th chapter, modern day swagger, all right, to normalize wickedness. You see, all right, to cause those who are needy, all right, to wrest judgment, to be held back from righteous judgment. All right, and to seek the ruler's favor and want of all things, out of the fear of losing one's life. And that's why this whole global supply chain crisis is a further part of their agenda. All right, in the midst of hyperinflation, all right, stagflation, So hey, man, so that we're definitely at the end of this thing. All right. But speaking of which, let me go ahead and bring out this similar article. Yeah, let me bring out this similar article here on Forbes. It says a problematic fakery of Lil Meka explained an exploration of virtual influencers and realness. All right. That pretty much uncovered, why this is problematic. So I'm going to jump down to the part I wanted to, bring out. Now you see this demon, the hand gesture, this demon's throwing up. All right. That a lot of these rappers throw up, a lot of these NBA players throw up, a lot of these athletes, period, throw up. What is that symbol that this demon's throwing up? All right. Baphomet Freemasonic hand gesture. All right. Otherwise known as the monocornuto, all right, which is a gesture of the satanic salute, otherwise known as a sign of recognition between an allegiance of members of Satanism or other unholy groups, man. All right. So they're looking to clearly and blatantly normalize witchcraft, and that's why back in 2016 they had something called after-school Satan programs. That's why they have the Transformers reading to the children in schools, man, because they're preying on a generation, these test tube babies, In the words of my man, Robin, I forget his name, the comedian from Bebe's Kids from back in the 90s, when he said, test tube baby. That's what these little GMO babies, in the words of Elder Apostle Racha, all right? These devils are clearly promoting, man. All right, that's why these ministers of Satan, all right, these ministers of Shaitan, including celebrities and politicians and whatnot, they throw up the monochronoto, man. All right? Which is clearly, all right, what this demon, all right, is throwing up right here. Clearly. See? So yeah, there's not much more to be said after that, man. They're promoting, they're using the wicked ass devices, their evil inventions to promote Satan, all right, to encourage people to indulge in the idea of death, all right, so they could be consumed in this world of death, all right, of the world that was given to the hands of the wicked, the Edomites, all right, that have increased evil and death into the world out of envy of the Lord, producing the wisdom of Solomon in the 2nd chapter. All right, so I'm going to get this next precept in 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 20. All right. 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 20. And it reads, so I consider the world, the same world that was given to the hands of the wicked. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril. And really the only world that the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is concerned about is the world of Israel. All right, cosmos. All right. That harmonious arrangement or government that YAHAWAH Shai is going to rule over. All right. And share his kingdom with that world. All right. The world of Jerusalem, a people before a place. All right. Because the saints shall take the kingdom in these last days. And that's why these devils coming down with a great wrath, knowing they have a short time to achieve this agenda, because they know they're running out of time. Because the Lord is speeding up the times. Hey, man, because this summer is clearly already over, man. It's already over, man. Hey, man, within like a month and a half, it's gonna get cold. It's gonna turn cold out here, So the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is making preparations to make these devils downtrodden, all right, and to deliver us and bring us the kingdom of heaven. Then his paradigm shifts from wickedness to righteousness, all right. 2nd Ezra 9:20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it. You see? That we're not ignorant of, man. Because we see what they're clearly doing with these wicked devices. All right? They're looking to use these devices to promote wicked satanic trends through these TikTok challenges and, various platforms, to condition and coerce the minds of people to do something stupid. All right? Like go out there and take the charagma, drink the dragon juice, and ultimately take the charagma. All right. Sign, to stay, to have their minds conformed within his world. All right. To sign, the deceitful, corrupt, record contracts and whatnot. All right. To associate oneself with Hollywood. This goes back to Hollywood, a device of witches and warlocks. So speaking of witches and warlocks, let me go ahead and bring out this commercial real quick. Once again, fair use. I'm going to go ahead and play it from the beginning. See Kevin Hart. So right there he says, I've summoned you to the Kevin verse. All right. Right there. So digital IDs. All right. And they're using the idea of fantasy NFL fantasy football, all right, to justify the wicked vibration of this commercial, all right, to summon these quote unquote or these NFL players as digital characters. You see that? You see how they did a crafty maneuver, all right, to normalize this technological aspect of their agenda through AI and the CBDCs to replace these global currencies, man. It's all a part of this World War III algorithm, all right, including the vision of the WEF, all right, this fourth industrial revolution, all right, and using humor, using clowns, these court gestures of the minstrel, these modern day minstrel shows such as Kevin Hart and so forth, all right, especially comedians and entertainers and such, to synthesize these aspects of their agenda, to justify normalizing it through the conditioning and coercion of this agenda ultimately, man. All right? By associating our faces, Jake faces, with this witchcraft, because they know Esau's like a bland piece of steak. He ain't got no flavor. Nobody want that shit, man. So they require Jake, to sell off this witchcraft. All right? And some of these Jakes that are involved in this, they may not know what they're involved in, man. All right? But if they don't, they're going to be destroyed. All right? Because these are the same ones that are going to take the Charagma. Right? Because, they're being used to promote it. And this is the first commercial I've ever seen this guy in a bathrobe, I believe it is, Lamar Jackson. Because they got a gag order in the media, in Esau's media, to demonize him. By way of how he conducts himself with his, with slang, his hairstyle, and all that. So it's very interesting how they got him in this commercial, the first commercial I've ever seen him in. And this kind of commercial at that, I thought this was very interesting when I saw this for the first time. I was like, oh, shit, he seemed like he kind of like bucking up against Esau, Edom, He don't move the way he wants him to move. He's not like a corporate kind of individual within the NFL. The NFL is obviously the big boys club. It's modern day slavery. All right. That's why the NFL auctions, or Slocky said auctions, the NFL combines, all right, are modern day slave auctions, man. When they have the NFL players, basically essentially get naked, man. Do public physicals and the whole nine, man. All kinds of perverseness and wickedness, man. All right, same thing they did to us back in the actual slave auctions. So we're nothing but cattle to the devil. That's why they call us the Goyim. You see, but you clearly see how they're using us to try to push their agenda out there. Digital IDs, CBDCs. See, because this technology. And this is why Jim Crow Joe signed this executive order. What was it called? Executive Order 14067 to quote unquote ensure responsible development of digital assets online. All right, and that's why there's an executive order that he had signed, I believe, some months ago to quote unquote regulate CBDCs. All right, there's also why around that time, he was promoting the idea of further empowering the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. All right, to track our transactions anytime it exceeded $600, man. But then they rescinded from that. So they're further furbishing their sword, man. Ultimately to bring this out. All right. RenegadeTribune.com. It says what it says in the title. All right. These devils are suggesting, quote unquote, rational reasons to Charagma your child. See? And that's why they lowered the ages of those who were permitted to drink the dragon juice. All right. To 5 months or 5 months or whatnot of an infant. All right. It's all a part of the gradualism. All right. So this is the end game, man. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get this next precept. That's why they're looking. That's why they're arming their federal agents. Including the IRS and the ATF. It reminds me in that movie I, Robot by Will Smith, when he was creeped out by the machines when they're trying to act all normal. He's like, "Oh, get the hell out of my face, man!" Like in the very beginning of the movie. See, why did that movie come out so many years ago? It's part of predictive programming, man. And people just go to these events and these including these movies and whatnot, just thinking it's just bread and circuses, man. And it's not. It is ultimately bread and circuses, man. But even with that, is a part of their wicked satanic council, man. All right, through their devices or of the devices of the wicked satanic council to convey these messages to people. All right, because these devils study psychology. They deal with the behavioral patterns of human beings, so they know, what makes the human body tick and so forth. By triggering certain emotions and such, man. And know those who are dumbed down, desensitized with this agenda, all right, and no threat to them. They're gonna, hey, they're already ready to take the Charagma. They know that. It's us, who they despise, man. Like it says in Amos 5:10, they hate those who rebukes them in the gate. It also aligns with Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. All right. So I'm going to get this next precept in the book of Psalm chapter 37. Psalm chapter 37, verse 7. It reads, "Rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass." All right. So we're not supposed to fret, the wicked intentions of these wicked satanic devices, man. That's why we're not ignorant of them, because we're not ignorant of the devil. Which lines with Sirach 12:10, "Trust not thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." All right, just like you clean off an iron weapon, no matter how much you polish an iron weapon, that rust cell is going to come back. Hence, the wickedness of Esau, Edom, never going away completely, never going away at all. All right, no matter how much he tries to, mask it in public, it's not. Hey, man, he's becoming more of a skeptical and a gazing stock and a laughing stock. And that's why Nancy Pelosi's husband just got locked up, or he just got apprehended, for a DUI. Trump getting arrested. There's another part of the Nahum 3 and 6, of this modern day bloody Assyrian Empire, America. All right, being further, sought out, and revealed as a laughing stock and a gazing stock, all right, in which the unclean spirits of this place, Revelation 18 chapter is what's making this place, is what has further made this place a stumbling block, gazing stock, and laughing stock, and a skeptical and reproach amongst these nations, even their own NATO and EU allies, man. All right, that's why you have Brexit. You know what I'm saying? You've had talks of Nexit, which is on behalf of the Netherlands. France is at odds with them. So forth. You see, so they're ultimately, they're ultimately losing their position as a wicked covering cast over the entire earth. Why? Because the spirit of bondage is wearing off. It's failing them, like it says in Isaiah the 19th chapter. Modern day Egypt, the modern day house of bondage of the captives of Jerusalem. All right, through Social Security, okay, birth certificates, it's all slave certificates to these devils. Now I'm going to take it a step further and take our, identification records and medical records and so forth, and fuse it within a device and implant and insert it in people. That's why down in the Ukraine, they got what? They got the Dia portal. See, using in a similar fashion. Oddly enough, it's not a coincidence down there. Down in Ukraine, they got the neons, basically like a particle that is used to further contain the Charagmas down there, the sea hips. So not a coincidence. They keep funding Ukraine millions upon billions of dollars. All right, because they got a bigger agenda at play there, and that's what's further revealing their interests. Not that world humanitarian global police agenda they're pushing. That's bullshit, man. It's all fabrication. All right, this is all about control with these devils, man. All right, religion was always a part of it. Politics, science, technology. All right, propaganda. All right, Western propaganda through these narratives of confusion and folly and wickedness. It's all a part of wine and fornication, all right, in which people love to be drunk off of, all right, because they love to be sold a dream. They don't want to wake up, like Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. That's the sentiment of the mass of these people, man. Preaching in Revelation 13:3, So they're gonna ultimately fall hook, line, and sinker for this agenda, and they've already fallen for it. It's a matter of time before we start seeing people line up by the droves. All right, drink this dragon juice and then ultimately take the charagma. All right, because they're not patient. All right, by way of their lack of faith and the will of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And that's why here Psalm 37:7 says, "Rest in the Lord, Yahweh, and wait patiently for Him, because through our patience we will possess our souls in these last days when all hell's breaking loose." All right, to be stable in the mind. All right, by way of the true divine wisdom, knowledge, understanding, pursuing Isaiah the 33rd chapter. All right, by way of our love for the truth and our measure of faith behind our love and the truth, to do the things that are pleasing to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, including prophesying His word. All right, to the hearers, for them to receive grace, pursuing Ephesians the 4th chapter. And this is the part of the elect that we're fishing for. That's that very small remnant. So Revelation, it's like Psalm 37:7. Rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for Him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospered in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. So just because he's prospered right now within his, dark path of perverseness, crooked path spoken about in Isaiah 59:8, Proverbs 21:16, and so forth. All right, we're not supposed to fret these things because we know that, pursuing Daniel 4:17, other precepts, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has appointed this devil his temporary position of rulership, and he's gonna go down quickly, pursuing Obadiah. All right, and so forth. All right, so I'm going to grab Proverbs again. Matter of fact, before I do, speaking of not fretting wicked devices, now they, including these artificial intelligence machines, are going to use to take people out. All right, hey, this came out of the horse's mouth, man. He's a part of the controlled opposition as well, because he's obviously in on the agenda. Because his company Tesla has been recently reported on using first-time human subjects for the charagma, man, for to develop their technology. All right, he knows that these tracking monitoring devices, slash payment devices. You see, it says Elon Musk warns that creation of godlike AI could doom mankind to an eternity of robot dictatorship. It says Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has a warning about the future of artificial intelligence. He says the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX has a grave warning that artificial intelligence could doom mankind. Musk said in a new documentary, "Do you trust this computer? That AI could be used to create an immortal dictator from which we can never escape." You can watch the documentary in full on the film's website. Artificial intelligence can spur the creation of a robot dictator that could rule mankind forever, the billionaire Elon Musk says in a new documentary. So in regards to law enforcement, going on strikes and quitting at record-breaking numbers, 911 dispatchers quitting. All right, these kind of jobs become more expensive, and that's why this rapper Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony, had an interview with TMZ recently, where it was actually a day ago, and he said, "Hey, you know what?" He's like, "Yo, well, watch out, man, because they're trying to take your jobs." Because of the female journalist, I believe on behalf of TMZ, asked him, "Well, you heard about this FM Meka situation?" He's like, "Yeah, I heard about that." And he kind of gave like a roundabout answer, but he was like, "Yo," he's like, "Nah," he's like, "Be careful, man, because they're trying to take your jobs." And he's really talking about rappers at that, in that particular case. But hey, man, we're all expendable to this devil, man. Like it says in Haggai, the 6th verse, we're laboring to put money in holes and bags of holes anyway. It's really what our pockets represent. Every time we turn around, we're paying for various, expenses, man. Bills, health care, rent, mortgage payments, child care, child support for a lot of us under the curses. You know what I'm saying? Which is another part of the curses anyway. So hey, man, we're losing in society. You know what I'm saying? In a carnal aspect, but we're winning spiritually. And that's why people can't come to grips to when they see us on the highways and the byways. They don't see men of renown. They see degenerates. They see fools. And that goes into why the Lord said, "I require the foolish things to confound the wise." Hence why they wag and hiss their heads at us as if to say, is this a glory Jerusalem out there in the highways and byways, prophesying within these marketplaces to our people, warning our people to unconform from this world, man. Right? This totalitarian, satanic, dystopian world these devils are creating and further developing. All right? So, hey, man, this is it. You know, just a matter of time before they make this thing mandatory, this Charagma. All right, these various reports of this agenda, you know, through gradualism is further drawing us closer and closer to that time. You know? So this is Job. So like this is Job chapter 5. Matter of fact, we go back to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 20. It reads, hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. And like it says in Sirach 37:16, let counsel go before reason. All right? Or let reason go before counsel, rather. All right, let me read that real quick. Sirach 37. Sirach 37:16. Let reason go before every enterprise, and counsel before every action. See? Let reason go before every enterprise in the spirit of prudence. You know, being in that sound mind, in sound doctrine, being circumspect out here. All right? Not being simple. All right? And foolish within that spirit of folly and mirth, as if everything's going to be all right in that Bob Marley spirit, man. All right? Case in point. Everything's only going to be all right when this place, America, Babylon the Great, is destroyed with thermonuclear fire and radiation. All right, part of the last prophecy. All right, the Battle of Armageddon, mildly known as World War III, prophesied in Revelation 11 chapter and other precepts that will follow this next major prophecy, Charagma, because by way of these people taking this Charagma, presenting Revelation 14 chapter, they're going to burn up in that lake of fire, man. That's a horrible, tormenting death that we don't want to experience. So out of fear of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, we persuade men. Out of the fear of the terror of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the terrible power, we persuade men. All right, because we know how he gets down, man. He's a very ruthless destroyer of the wicked. You know, I mean, merciful, you know, plenteous and merciful, and spoken about in Proverbs, the 19th chapter. Okay, civil warfare. All right. So, this is back in Proverbs 19 and 20. Here, Acts the 5th chapter shall not stand. So this is Job chapter 5 verse 12, and it reads as if to say, he does not, like it says in Psalm the 10th chapter, around the 7th verse, or the 4th verse, it says, the idea of the Lord, the idea of the Most High God, Yahweh, is not at all in the thoughts of Esau, Edom, the man of sin and son of perdition. All right, and that's why his rulership is a sinking ship, mainly through America, Babylon the Great. That wicked covenant casts over the entire earth. All right, spreading her democracy, her bureaucracy. All right, diplomacy. All right, you know, foreign policy. All right, you know, including their military policies and you know, and technology. You know, on behalf of their science. All right. You know, and this is going to fail them because they will not triumph with this agenda. You see? You know, especially over the elect, because we already have victory in Hamashiach Yahushai. All right, who gained victory over the beast, pursuing Hebrews 2 and 14, man. All right, so we're going to get that. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil. All right, and the devil, all right, the implicator, the slanderer, tension and mayhem and strife and destruction that he has engineered on the prophets. All right, I mean, Yahushua warned us of it. That's why he told us to occupy till he comes, man, to be watchmen for his lambs and sheep. All right, to the shepherd, the true shepherd, return, man. All right, ultimately from the Lord's plagues in these last days. All right, that result in destruction of this place because of that wicked agenda. So I'm going to end it off there and give all praises, glory, and infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWAH BAHASHAM. Bless me to spirit to do this video. Your prayers for the edifying as well to elect. And with that, I bought the ball. And on to the next one.